0-2 is not awesome, but we have been given some hope.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I've got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
So after a brutal loss in week 1 to the St. Louis Battlehawks, we came back and we had a pretty decent showing against the Arlington Renegades, who a lot of people had ranked as number 1 coming off of the week 1 victory against the Brahmas. Our defense had a complete 180, going from giving up 33 points to the Battlehawks to giving up only 11 points to the Arlington Renegades. If the offense can get it turned around, we might be in business. Let's do a quick recap of what happened in week 2. I didn't do a show after week 1, but that's because there wasn't really anything good to talk about after week 1. In week 2, we had much better tackling. We went from this.
Needing the 29. Pressure coming. Out of the backfield, Sailors. He's still fighting and he got it! Oh.
To this.
Perez delivers complete out of the flat and a great open field tackle.
The biggest takeaway from week 1 that I had on the defensive side of the ball was that everything was our fault. We were out of place in a lot of alignments. We were out of place in a lot of coverages, a lot of zones. And the biggest thing is that we weren't making any tackles. One of my biggest pet peeves in pro football is when they just throw their shoulder at the offensive player and not wrap up. You're getting paid. Wrap up. That was completely changed in week 2. We were getting to the quarterback. We were disrupting Luis Perez's timing. We were getting after it and we were wrapping up. It was so much better on the defensive side of the ball. Now let's talk offense. On the offensive side of the ball, Anthony Brown looked better, but when you look better than 21 yards in 3 quarters of football, it's still not that great. He was pulled for Nolan Henderson. Nolan came in for 2 drives and he didn't look all that great too, but you can't really blame him because he came in late in a cold game, being cold off the sideline. He was not given a chance to succeed. Anthony Brown had a couple passes where he looked like the Anthony Brown that we saw in the NFL preseason, where he was hitting receivers, he was being accurate, and he was moving around well in the pocket. Then there were a lot of passes, a majority of the passes, that either weren't hitting their target or he was hanging his receivers out to dry, getting Kiki Chisholm and Kirk Merritt hurt. Now, I have to say, that last drive of the game, if we can somehow tap into that energy, that tempo, Anthony Brown looked lights out. The receivers were getting space, the Renegades defense was tired, and he hit Emmanuel Butler for a perfect touchdown in the right corner of the end zone. Like I said, there are things to build on there, but a lot to change. Now, let's talk about change. Before we get into this week's game against Memphis, let's talk about the huge news that came out during the national championship. The breaking news that came out was that we traded offensive tackle Cam Carter to the Michigan Panthers for all USFL wide receiver Marcus Sims. You may be thinking, why do we need a wide receiver? We have great receivers in Kiki Chisholm, TJ Vasher, Emmanuel Butler, Justin Hall. Well, other than Justin Hall on the outside, our receivers aren't getting the separation that the coaches are wanting to see. We want to see guys who can take off downfield and really spread the field so that we can back the defense off and open up our run game. Marcus Sims allows us to do that, where he has the speed to stretch the field vertically, where he has the speed as someone as Lawrence Keys, who is already on the Roughnecks, but he's taller than Lawrence Keys and is a true wide receiver 1, where Lawrence Keys is more of a wide receiver 3 slot, utility guy where we have to be able to get him the ball. So Marcus Sims gives us that option. Now, offensive line is the hardest position to get in spring football. So a lot of people are thinking, why would we get rid of Cam Carter? I thought it at the beginning, but then I went and I thought about it. Week 1, our starting tackle opposite of Zach Banner was TJ Bradley. TJ Bradley got hurt, so we are waiting for him to come back. So he is the true starter right now. Cam Carter was filling in week 2 and playing tackle. He was starting in week 2, but he isn't our true starter. So once TJ Bradley comes back, he's the starter and Cam Carter was going to be bumped back behind him. Now the big thing, the big brain move that happened here is that we signed tackle Isaiah Battle, who we had last year. Now Isaiah Battle comes in. He already knows the playbook. He played with us last year. He is the clear-cut starting offensive tackle. So when you look at it now, we have Zach Banner and Isaiah Battle as our number 1 starting tackles. Then we have TJ Bradley, who's going to come back, and he will be backing up both of them, which then makes Cam Carter our offensive tackle number 3, who might not even make the active roster. So the fact that because Isaiah Battle wasn't on the team, he was hurt, so he probably asked to be released so he could go do physical therapy with his own people, he wasn't on our roster, which made Cam Carter look like he was going to be our offensive tackle number 2. So he was starting in week 2, which we went to the Panthers and we said, hey, we'll give you a starting tackle for Marcus Sims. Now, Mike Nolan and the Panthers, they're desperate for an offensive tackle. They're desperate for offensive line. That is their biggest thing right now, is protecting Bryce Perkins and Danny Etling. So we basically took a offensive tackle who is third string and flipped him for Marcus Sims. This is a big brain move. I'm telling you guys, I think this is the trade. We fleeced the Michigan Panthers, and I couldn't be more happy. I think that going into week 3, Marcus Sims can make an immediate impact on special teams, and especially on the outside as wide receiver 2, wide receiver 1, just kind of rotating in because he is new and he doesn't know the playbook. But talk about a steal, guys. A third string tackle who we kind of made them think was a first string tackle went and got a previous special teams all UFL and all UFL wide receiver. So I think this is a great move. It's amazing. Everybody online is saying that they don't like it. I thought I didn't like it at the beginning, but once I got into the nitty gritty of it, this is a great move, and you have to give credit to CJ Johnson and Will Lewis. Now on to this week. We have the Memphis Showboats. This is a game where our defense has to play lights out. The Memphis Showboats offense looks about as good as our offense, but their defense is elite. I would dare to say it's number 2 in the league, maybe 3. If we're going to rank the defenses, Birmingham is far and away the best defense in the league. And fighting for number 2, it's between DC and Memphis. Both are above average, definitely better than the Houston Roughnecks defense, but are they better than each other? It's yet to be seen, and we have 8 more weeks to figure it out. The big thing is that with EJ Perry, last year when he was on the Panthers, he lit us up with his legs. He took the lead and basically buried us when he was on the Panthers by rushing for a touchdown. If we can contain him and look like we did against the Renegades, we might be okay. I'm not saying that we're going to win this game, but this is a winnable game. The key is going to be shutting down Jay Adams. We shut down Hakeem Butler in the week 1 game against the Battlehawks, so why wouldn't we be able to shut down Jay Adams? If we can do that, then all we have to do is try and tighten up the offensive line and make sure that we stop their run game, be it the quarterback or running backs, and we're in business. The way our defense played in week 2, we're fairly comparable to the Michigan defense, and they shut down the Memphis offense. So we look good. Now, the main thing is we have to play tight on special teams. We've been good so far this year, but if Michigan taught us anything last week against the Stallions, you cannot muff punts, you cannot miss tackles, you have to be elite on special teams. Guys, I know it's an 0-2 start. I know it's more of what we've seen, but I think that there's hope. I think we're definitely not going to have a winless season, and I think we could have some fun along the way. So while we're doing it, stay here, stay with me on Roughnecks Rundown. Let's do it, guys. I'll see you next time. Hey, guys, thank you so much for watching the UFM United Football Media. If you like that, please make sure to like and subscribe. Also, if you want more videos, you can check them out on our channel over here. The best one for you is right here. And then if you liked mine, the rest of my playlist is right here. Thank you, guys, and I hope to see you next time.